Hello there everyone, Ashton Flash here, and welcome on in to a set that I have been waiting for since I was a child. Today we are finally looking at the brand new LEGO Marvel set from the Fantastic Four First Steps. It is set number 76316, the Fantastic Four versus Galactus construction figure. It has 427 pieces, retailing for $59.99 USD or $79.99 Canadian beginning on June the 1st. I'm so excited for this. I love the Fantastic Four. Those films were what I grew up on, and those characters, like Mr. Fantastic, is one of my favorite superheroes. And just for years, I've been saying I would give anything. I would give an entire year's worth of superheroes to get a Fantastic Four set. And here it is with Galactus. Oh my goodness. I love the box art for this as well, that it's actually featuring a lot of the artwork that you see for a lot of the different promotional material. So that's really cool. You can see some of the different features here on the back of the box. But let's go ahead and let's build this set. All right, here it is built. And I honestly got very emotional building this. Like building Galactus and just imagining back in 2013, taking the day off of school to go and play LEGO Marvel Superheroes the day it came out, get the Iron Patriot minifigure, but play through it all for Galactus at the and hearing all the lines that Galactus says in that final boss fight, and to have him here is just surreal to me. And to have one of my favorite teams from, if not my favorite team from Marvel, very nostalgic for this right now. But let's go ahead. We're going to go start with the Fantastic Four and then go to Galactus. Here is Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, my favorite member of the team, and it just, oh my goodness, so crazy to me. Love the printing here. It looks really great for the torso. It is actually the only one different than the rest of the team, but it looks really cool with the four printed there in the center. It's a little bit scratched, unfortunately. The difference being in the collar, that it's not white. The face looks really cool here. I think that they did a good job capturing his likeness. I like the smirk, just like you saw on the front of the box. The hairpiece is good. It should have used the Doctor Strange hair. I don't know why they didn't use that since it exists with the sidebird printing. Would have gone a long way for sure, but thankfully that's really cheap since that hair piece and that figure came in a poly bag. But if you look on the other side, he has this big smile there as well. And that's a fun expression. I would have maybe preferred an angry fighting one, but yeah, I think this is still really cool. As for his abilities here, how they're being represented, he's got elongated legs here, and you can sort of have them stepping there, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that build for the boots. I think I said this before, but I would have preferred this. I think 1x2 plates there with a tile on top look more like a minifigure foot than the other build. But something else really cool that you can do with these pieces, you can actually take those two pieces, attach them to the legs, and then take the torso and attach it on top to make it look like his torso is actually what's stretching upwards, which I think looks really cool. I don't really like the line down the center, but it still is a cool option if you want to play around with him. Here's Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. She looks really good. I think that they did a good job with the face that they chose. I think that that works well for her. It hasn't been used too many times in Marvel, besides Black Widow and Jane. That's the only two, and Jane covers her face, so I think this works well. The torso underneath this hair, which I think they did a really good choice for that, the torso is shared with everybody, which is unfortunate because she definitely could have had, you know, the female printing there on the sides to show that this is a female figure, but I get why they chose not to do that, because it's easier for them to just all use the same one. Her abilities are represented by these dish pieces attached to these superhero handles, and that's cool to represent her telekinetic powers, but I still would have really loved like an arm that's fully transparent or a leg that's fully transparent. I think that would have gone a long way more selling the effect that she is, you know, the Invisible Woman. And just because I've got it here, this is Dedra Miro's face from the new Andor set. I think this does work, especially the cheekbones there, but I think just the deadpanness, it doesn't really work for her. I think she's a little bit more expressive. You can see here on the other side with the angry expression. I think that's a little better there with the eyebrows a little higher up, but this is an option if you want. All right, so here's the thing. I already know that everybody's going to be talking about Ben the most, for sure. The torso is the exact same. I think that's fine. And the only thing that I would change is the hand color. I don't like that on these gauntlet pieces underneath you've got the white gloves. I don't like that that sticks out depending on how you pose this. But I still think this is really good. He is not supposed to be a big figure at all, at all, at all. If you look at this photo here of them all side by side, recreating the image from the movie, they're all very similar in height. This piece on top actually gives him a bit more height. Something that I had an idea, since what they're doing with Reed, what if you included some plates there to actually make him a little bit taller? I think that does add a little bit of something for him. But other than that, I think that the figure is still perfectly fine. I kind of like just playing around with the gloves and almost like, I don't know, it just feels more expressive depending on how you bend this here. Like it looks like the Thing, I feel like. Obviously could have had a big torso as well, sort of something like Mr. Incredible, or they've done some other Nexo Knights, and as well as TMNT, big torsos, but this new headpiece is really cool. I love that a lot. And underneath the printing for him, he's still got those printed eyebrows, which I think is kind of funny. He's got a big smirk on one side and this angry expression on the other, which I think is perfect for the Thing. And yeah, I hope someday we do get a big fig for the Thing. But in terms of the MCU right now, this is very accurate. Here's Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, who looks really good, I think. I think obviously the torso would have been nice to have some flames or something representing him actually being the Human Torch. Maybe some transparent orange arms or legs for sure would go a long way. They exist, so why not, right? But I think the hair choice that they did for him is really good. I don't know about the face here. This has been used by so many people in the MCU, and I just don't know if that works for him. He's got a shocked, scared expression on the other side. And for his abilities, he has the Power Blast pieces, and then also this 1x2 round plate there for the legs with the flames underneath, and that'll come into effect when we actually look at the Galactus figure. But I love just swooshing him around here. Here is the Galactus construction figure, who I think looks really good for the most part, although they use a lot of dark red, and I believe that is done not for accuracy-wise, but in order to be cost effective and not have to recolor pieces in this magenta, I think is what the official name is. So a little bit of a shame, I think, for that. It does stand out in more places than others, but it still looks amazing. One of my favorite things that I saw them doing was this person playing with him and actually walking his legs, which I think is really cool, like we see in the trailers, because it's supposed to be actually practical. Like that is the actual actor of Galactus walking through a miniature set of New York. So I think that's really cool that you could sort of do that here. It's very posable here. You can rotate the head 360 degrees. You can also bend it. I love how that looks when it's bent down. You can, of course, actually stand him on one leg here as well. If I pose him correctly, let's see. There you go. And then you can also, of course, move his arms and legs, the hands as well. The torso is also able to turn there as well, which is great. The feet are a very interesting shape here. I don't know. Again, just because it's more realistic and human-like and not like a big Lego figure. I don't know how I feel about that. I like the stud there. I think that's fun so that you can have the different figures actually attached here and sort of fighting him and trying to stop him down on his feet because they're so small. I think that's kind of fun and silly. The gray joints, I wish that was a little bit more covered up. And here's what I mean by the dark red here on the outside. This is a lot here on the side, I think, because this piece doesn't exist in magenta. You can see as well over here on the back that they have a little bit more dark red, some dark red inside there. But I do like these 1x2 cheese slopes. I think that looks really good for this effect on the legs and even down below to create that little pyramid sort of there. And the other leg, it's the same thing, just inverted. Over here at the legs, this is really cool. I like when you stand him up straight and you bend the legs together, that the Nexo Knight shield actually sits inside of those two slopes. That's kind of cool. But the Nexo Knight shield there on the side looks pretty good for the legs above those slopes. I think again, the legs look nice with those slope pieces. I love these hips there with this sort of skirt that is brick built. These are all stickers, and I tried my best to line them up so that the lines continue around there. But I think that's really cool, using these big canopy pieces there to just cover up some of the legs. I think that looks really good. You've got this piece here in the back. That is this little flap that you could raise and lower as well. And then over here on the front, you've got that same thing, but the build for that is a little different with a bar going through the hips there. Again, this piece over here on the other side. The torso looks good. I like these 3 blade pieces there. I think that's a nice little detail. And being able to turn the torso, I feel like, is a very good and simple feature. The torso on the front with that 3x3 round tile, I like that little sticker that you have there, as well as the lines that are created with the dark blue looks really great. And the different levels to this torso, I think that's a really good shaped torso here. And I've built a lot of these buildable characters, every single one we've reviewed here on the channel. But coming over here to the back, it's a little more messy. You do have a little bit of black down there in the back. And then this, I just feel like it's just a hodgepodge of colors with the magenta. Then you've got dark red underneath, and I just don't know how that really looks. This over here in the back, this is a really cool play feature, something that they introduced for the Sentinel. The idea here being that you take your Human Torch figure and attach the back of his legs there to that little clip that's attached there, and you can have him actually flying around Galactus there, which is kind of fun. I like the idea of that. And you can of course bend and turn this around if you want to have him flying on the other side. You just have to redo the clips, but I think that's a really simple fun effect that is a reason why I like construction figures that actually have to do with the films and have features like that. Something else you could do if you want to remove this, you could also actually attach him to the top of Galactus's head and have him flying around like that. This is probably more my personal favorite, is like it's almost like he's flying around his head and he's trying to like swat him there, attaching it to the side of the head. The arms are a simple build, but I like how they're inside of the shoulders there with those scale pieces up top. And you can actually move this if you wanted to, but it's sort of creating a little bit of bulk for the shoulder. On the side of the arm, you've actually got a stud there. The idea being that you could take some of the figures and have them like running up his arm to fight him, which I think is kind of fun. You've also got a sticker there on the inside on that ball joint piece, which is kind of interesting. You've got those more slope pieces being used there, and then also the hand can actually turn as well and actually go 360 degrees and also make a fist. Coming over here to the other side, another thing you can do that you're meant to actually do is take one of the Fantastic Four figures and put him in the hand there, which is really cool, just attaching to that stud in the center of the palm of the hand. And very lastly here, we've got a great head build. I think this might be one of my favorite parts here. I love the printing on this face. I think it looks great. A lot of use and ideas that I've got for that to turn this into a big upscaled figure, but the shaping of this looks really good, I think, for him. And over here in the back, you can see again a bunch of dark red being used here. That's my only gripe about this here. But the way that they built the sides of the mask or the helmet there is really, really cool. I love that. And yeah, I think that this is just so iconic, the top part of the head here, and there's a lot of posability that you saw before with this. Anyways, everyone, that is my review of the Fantastic Four versus Galactus construction figure. I love this set, and yes, there are a few things here and there, like with Galactus, and then obviously would have loved for him to be an upscaled figure. And the Fantastic Four leave a lot to be desired when it comes to no leg printing or dual molded legs, or none of their effects being represented with like Reed not having the avatar arms and legs, or transparent arms for different, all of them definitely could use an upgrade, which I'm hoping to do in a separate video. But this is still a dream come true. And for that, I will forever love this set. I will. Like, you cannot change my mind about this. When I was a kid, I was gifted a Rise of the Silver Surfer Mega Bloks toy. And my parents were like, we know that you love the Fantastic Four, but you only want Lego. But we thought we'd give this to you. If you want, you can return it. I couldn't open it. As much as I wanted the Fantastic Four, I just couldn't do it. So I returned it. And to have this now, waiting, 20 years later, is so crazy to me. So be sure to subscribe, turn the bell notifications so you don't miss out on future LEGO Marvel set news and reviews just like this one. Also, These figures are probably, and some of the parts are all going to be used next year for Avengers Doomsday. So we're going to be covering all that when we get to that in a few months, which is crazy to say. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. I'll see you all in the next one.